Good morning. All right. So, your girl parked on the side of the road because I didn't know if my grandmother was going to be parked in front of me or in back of me last night. So I wanted to make sure that I could get out early this morning. It's early this morning. I'm on my way to handle my business so that I can get my security license so that I can become a security officer. So it's just crazy. I know I keep saying the same thing, repeating myself in my different videos, but I went last week and I went to go get my you had to like take a test to be able to be a corrections officer, so I went to go take the test. Well, it went really good because I will insert the clip in saying that, hey, I passed the test, you know, thinking, oh man, I'm gonna do so good at this, you know, like, I'm gonna do so good at this. I'm gonna be a correctional officer and everything. Like, I'm gonna get my security license, be a correctional officer. Bam, got my life going on, you know, like, big things. So I went to a concert this weekend. And on the center clip, and I know I'm so old. Gosh, what's going on with me, okay? Like, I was probably the youngest person there at the concert, by the way, mind you. So, here I am at this concert, whatever, old person there. And I started getting dizzy, and, you know, and I started blacking out. So I sat on the ground until the artist came out. So then, next thing we know, I'm realizing, hey, I won't be able to do correctional officer. You know why? Because even though I passed the written exam, I will never be able to pass the training in which you have to be active and, you know, actually run and do stuff like that. Because one, you have to be out in the heat. And two, it's hot. And three, they might not be like, hey, you know, you can have water when you want to. And so for me, that's just not gonna work out because I need water. Because just standing there, I got dehydrated from having gastro bypass surgery.
Starting route to 2738 US Highway 1 South.
So,
in 60 feet, turn right.
So yeah, just standing there, almost caused me to pass out, literally.
Turn right onto.
Yeah, sorry. So just standing there almost caused me to pass out, and so due to it, just standing there almost caused me to pass out. Literally, like, I won't be able to do it. To be able to pass basic training to be a correctional officer, it's just not happening. So I'm just gonna have to wait for my degree and do some type of, you know, like a worker, like, you know, like a caseworker or something like that, you know, so, because I can't do corrections because, you know, not like I wouldn't want to do it. I always wanted to work in the jails and, you know, help, mainly the juvenile jails, not really the upper population.
Turn right onto Raven.
I know, I hear you. So, yeah, but, yeah, so I'm going to do that this morning. Yeah, so those classes are going to be all week long, which, you know, it shouldn't be bad. You know, I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Can't wait. This is exciting, you guys. I'm ready. You guys, I need this change in my life. Like, I haven't been able to find a job. Like, I hear you. I haven't been able to find a job, and so not being able to find a job has just been, it's been crazy. Okay. Oh my gosh. This thing talks so much to me. Yeah, I haven't been able to find a job, and so that's just been crazy. Especially for me, like, let me tell you something, my resume is amazing, you know what I'm saying? So due to my resume, like, I'm always capable of finding a job. No, not me, not lately. I've not. So no one even give me a call back. It's crazy. But I feel like God's just allowing me to just enjoy life and get some rest and get myself together before I start working like a mad woman.
Turn left.
Alright guys, so I'm going to go get some food right now. I'm on like break between the training for the security licensing or whatever. So I was gonna go to Sonic's, but I just had to go to Panda Express. I don't know, maybe they have shrimp or something, I don't know. That's what I got for my meal. Veggies, noodles, I don't know how much of that I'm gonna eat. The meat and the shrimp, so good. So I'm doing this trading course. So I had to ask a question because I want to get my gun license, but I was down here originally when all that stuff happened with the guy who held me hostage in my house. Originally when all that stuff happened, I was held hostage. And the guy, he's in jail for 4 years now. So in the class, they were telling us that, you know, once you got in trouble with conviction of your licensing or whatever, you couldn't really get it back for another 10 years. So, and that's after you base all your time and everything else, 10 years after you're done with probation and all that other stuff. So, you know, if they actually allow you to get the licensing. So he'll probably not be allowed to get the licensing over again. So like, a lot of my anxieties went down. I feel like, you know, I want to go back to Fort Lauderdale, but, you know, they only gave him 4 years, so, because they only gave him 4 years, you know, I was just a little nervous, but whatever. You know, not because, like, of myself, just because of him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted them to, they were looking up to give him, like, 30 years, but for me, myself, I didn't want that for him. But, you know, like, now that I'm down here, you know, I still have to be careful. And so, I think I'm even more careful with life in general. Because, lately, like, I think when I was younger, I think I was really insecure. And I think as I've gotten older, like, my looks have changed or whatever. And I think, the men start looking at me like a little differently. And it's not just because the way I dress either. Maybe it is a bit just, but even they looked at me that way when, like, I was down here before, and that happened to me when I was celibate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was living a good life, like, so I don't understand. Like, I wasn't dressing inappropriately or whatever. But lately I've noticed, like, the way that the men view me, or, you know, like, they can be possessive or stuff like that. So it gets a little interesting, and whatnot with everything, with the whole situation. So, kind of freaky, you know, weird with, you know, the way that you're viewed or looked at and stuff like that. Kind of unnerving, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like before, like, when I was younger, because I was plus size, you know, like, I'm still, like, plus size, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was plus size, like, you know, they were more embarrassed of you, per se. But, you know, as, like, life goes on, you know, a lot of the generation likes really curvy women. I'm not really curvy because I don't have no butt, but, you know, they still find me beautiful, you know, with my curves and everything. Or my my bodiness. But the thing is that, you know, like, you know, the view of how they viewed me then is different than it is now. So it's kind of like, sometimes when, you know, I'm viewed and stuff like that, I feel, like, shameful and stuff like that, because, like, I know that a lot of how I'm viewed in a manner because of maybe my eyes, and I get a lot about my eyes. I have beautiful exotic type eyes, or, you know, my lips, you know, which my lips are always crusty and I don't understand that. Or, you know, just my body in general. It's just like, I'm very like, and especially in this day and age, like, it's horrible, but I get a lot of like, you know, like those, viewed as looking like a sexual object, like porn star or something like that, like, you know. And for me, going to school for addiction and recovery counseling and stuff like that for like sexual addiction, and you know, I want to help people with human trafficking, prostitution, it's kind of weird in you know that they're viewing you in a lot of men, when they view women who are who view women like in a sexual manner, when it comes to like in a pornography type way or a like prostitution type way, they think with a lot of aggression, which is what I have came across from being a person who used to, you know, be in prostitution. And so I know that because of my exotic look, or, you know, with my eyes and stuff like that, like, I still remember and understand the look of, you know, like the aggression, you know, and what it is, you know, that they're looking at me like, you know, like, oh, you know, the roughness of the sexual act and stuff like that. So it's rough to, you know, get through, because it feels very shameful when you know that people are looking at you in that manner. But, you know, there's nothing I can really do about it, you know. Especially now that I'm about to change my appearance and lose weight, you know. I mean, the only thing I can do is stop dressing up to please them, basically. But I don't feel like I should have to stop dressing up and making myself happy to dress up because someone else's ways that they live their life. Just like with that whole situation, like, I want to live in Fort Lauderdale, but just because, you know, I want to live in Fort Lauderdale because of what that guy did and held me hostage in my house, like, just what you do and how you whatever is not going to stop me from living my life and how I want to live my life. I'm not going to live my life in fear, you know, or just how you view me. Because you view me a certain way, I ain't going to live my life in fear. Like, there ain't no reason for me to do that. For what? Honey, that's on you, baby. Those are your choices. That's your life. But I'm about to go back to this class. I'm tired. It's so boring. It's so boring. But, you know, I got to do what I got to do so I can get some money in my pocket, because your girl can't find a job. Without this licensing, it's going to be, you know, like, crazy, you know, with the licensing. It's hard. And I've had interview after interview after interview, nothing. So I gotta get into the security. So I love you guys. Michigan so good. Yes, honey. Chicken's bomb.